What is up, you guys, and welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where fire sports content is the name of the game. I'm your host, Devon, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about last night's game, Game 6, Dallas Mavericks versus the Oklahoma City Thunders. But before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode, but also watch this video all the way to the end because I don't want you guys missing out what I'm going to be telling you in this episode. But let's get into it. The Dallas Mavericks, for the second time in 3 years, they have reached the Western Conference Finals. This is a great team right here. Kyrie Irving, Derek Lively, Luka Doncic, Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington, who's making his first ever Western Conference Finals appearance. And question for discussion, what are your thoughts on the Mavericks reaching the Western Conference Finals? What are your thoughts on the Dallas Mavericks making it to the Western Conference Finals? Having a great coach in Jason Kidd who actually knows what it takes to win, knows what it takes to get to the Western Conference Finals, been there, has won a ring. I mean, you had Dirk Nowitzki in attendance watching that game. So let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts on that and what really happened when we talking about the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, in the first half, they really struggled because even from, I mean, you could tell from tip off. Tip off, Thunder's got the ball. Jalen Williams, he goes head, slams it in, gets the first points on the board for his team. So what were the things that caused the Mavericks to struggle? What were the challenges that they faced in the first half? Well, for one, they were making a lot of bad passes, making a lot of there were too many turnovers. I mean, they were trying to some of their shots they were really forcing it, especially going to the paint. Like one with Kyrie Irving, they just needed to maintain control of the ball. That's another thing they didn't do. You know, Kyrie Irving driving to the basket, he lost control of the ball in midair, and then he had to he's trying to make a layup, but he ends up kicking it out. And sometimes they will make passes and the guy their teammate wasn't even at the spot. So that really was hurting Mavericks at that point. Luka Doncic had 5 turnovers in that first quarter. um the Thunders played really great defense against Luka Doncic. He couldn't really fight off the double team. They made it uncomfortable for him. They weren't going to allow Luka Doncic to score. He got a couple of scoring moments here and there in the first quarter, and then he started to turn it up in the fourth quarter, the second half in the fourth quarter. I'm going to get more to that, but performance wise for the Mavericks, Luka Doncic 29, 10, and 10. He had a triple double. Kyrie Irving 22 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. In total, they had 18 turnovers. They had 47 rebounds, 40 points in the paint, shot 70.8% from the free throw line, and shot 51.2% from the field. And this is what I'm talking about. Despite the turnovers, the way the Mavericks played in the second half was key for them. And this is what I mean. In the fourth quarter, when it boils down to those, each possession counts in the fourth quarter. I mean, in the playoffs. I don't care how you look at it. Each possession counts. We already know this. And the thing about the Mavericks in the fourth quarter, PJ Washington of all people really really saved the team. He really was a key part in that game because if it wasn't for that foul and him making 2 out of 3 free throws because he got fouled at the 3-point line. If he did not make 2 free throws, the game probably would have fall in the hands of OKC, and they probably would have won and forced the game 7. But PJ Washington was making his shots. Derek Lively had a putback slam, so there were a lot of lead changes. Like Luka Doncic from second quarter, he started to come back a bit, and then the second half he really took off. Mavericks had 3 3-pointers, really 4 3-pointers in that fourth quarter because one from PJ Washington, you had 1 3-pointer from PJ Washington, and one 3-point shot from Luka Doncic, and then Kyrie Irving made 2 by himself. Kyrie Irving, and this is the thing about Kyrie Irving. All these years he's played with LeBron, and then he's LeBron is mentoring him at the time and trying to help him become who he should be, who he's supposed to be. You know, winning a championship with LeBron, beating a 73-9 team in the Golden State Warriors, being down 3 games and then coming back and winning a championship. So look at Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving said after the game that this had to be the hardest series he's ever been through because he's on a winning team right now. And now he's the mentor and he's guiding Luka Doncic throughout the game, throughout the NBA, trying to he knows what Luka Doncic potential is and what it can be, and he's trying to help Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic at some point he's gonna have to, we don't need him to score all the time. You got all these other guys on your team, Derek Jones Jr. You got Hardy who knocked down the 3-pointer at the corner on the right side of the court. Derek Jones Jr., Derek Lively, PJ Washington, and PJ Washington making his first Western Conference Finals appearance. They have so many weapons. They have so many great players on this team. Luka really, really could just dish it out and pass the ball like we know him to do. We know he can score too. But at the same time, this is a great Mavericks team, and Kyrie Irving making it that far. And he's being the only guy out of this generation with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Chris Paul, all these guys. He's the last one left, and he's made it far. And it was hard for him. He had to go through a lot to get to where he is now. And I know we know that when he left LeBron, it's like, can now the question is, can you win without LeBron? He's played on so many teams, the Celtics, the Nets, the you know, he's played on so many other teams after leaving LeBron, and then now he finally finds a team where he's successful and he's thriving, and the team itself is thriving. It's a lot of team success. But the last thing I want to talk about is the Oklahoma City Thunders. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 36 points, eight assists, 3 rebounds. Jalen Williams, 22 points, 8 assists, 9 rebounds. He was shy of a triple double. Now, with this in mind, honestly, the Thunders, they're a young team. They really gave it their all in this game. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, most of his shots was from 3-point range. He got a couple of shots, the mid range, a couple of shots in the paint, but most of his shots were coming from three. Dort after making a got fouled after making a 3-pointer, and he could have converted on a 4-point play. Had an opportunity, but it was unsuccessful. Chet Holmgren was actually a big factor. He was getting to the free throw line. He was playing defense. He was rebounding, giving the Thunder second chance opportunities. He had one play where he knocked the 3-point shot down at the top of the key. And Chet Holmgren is going to be great in this league as well. We already know what he's capable of. And Jalen Williams was very confident. Hitting a buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter, he really set the tone in the first quarter. He was really setting the tone. The only issue with the Thunders is they had it in the first half was really theirs until, it got to a point where some of those possessions they weren't good. They didn't knock down some of their shots. Some of those plays some of those possessions they had some good looks, but the shots wouldn't fall. Fouling their players. Chet Holmgren had 3 fouls in the game, so it those fouls are crucial. They really are. But anyways, that is all for today's episode. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. I'm Devon, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.